Good morning. Welcome to our series. Today we are on a new series of what we need to change as a country for our season. We have been on a series of messages that was entitled New Mindset. New Mindset was about changing the way we think about our situation, where we were called to stop focusing on the other, but look at yourself. How have you contributed to your situation? How can you change your situation? How can you as a person find happiness or the solutions that you're seeking for your life? That was the first message. That was a foundational message. Now we have moved to another level of what needs to change in our lives and in our country. Then finally we'll be looking at what I promised, the success guide. The book is underway, and we'll be talking about the simple things that you can do on a daily basis, how to be able to establish your purpose, how to be able to establish your vision, and how to make all this work. Whatever you do every day, how it contributes to your growth, and that way we will be able to grow ourselves and to grow our country. This message is urgent. It's now the first message on what we need to change as a country and ourselves for this season, and it is entitled Why We Cannot Continue Divorcing for Unfaithfulness. Why we cannot continue divorcing for unfaithfulness. It came as a vision, and there was urgency in it. It was a church leader who was taking advantage of a case of unfaithfulness that had been presented to him. It started with the lady very distressed, and the man who had been caught in adultery. And this leader was suggesting then to the lady that and the man that they need to divorce because it was a case of unfaithfulness. And at the same time I was shown, after that I was taken to another part where now I was shown the mother of this man and the man. They were very distressed, and they were lamenting. They were issuing words that amounted to what I was shown as curses. And these were curses being released to their lives. And then I was put to a place where now I started preaching. Remember I told you most of the messages that are presented as I'm preaching to people. That means that it's something that I've been authorized to speak about, because I see many things some of which I don't talk about. So these were the words that were put in me at that time, and one of them was, we need to start thinking of how to punish the women who come in between another woman's marriage. So the first case was, we need to start thinking of how to punish these women who take advantage, and already a man is married and they are already coming in between it. So as a country we need to come up with laws of addressing the other woman in our marriages. Then I told the men that men, because I would imagine this is because I cannot speak for the men also need to tell us what we should do to them when they are unfaithful, and especially when they are caught. So the men need to give us solutions. So for the men who are listening to me and they are able to start thinking of how to come up with these solutions, it's time. Men need to give us solutions, that will finally be put into our laws of how to deal with them when they are unfaithful in the sense of marriage. Then the other thing that we were given is that we must protect our marriages. We must protect our marriages. Now, when we go to Matthew 5, from verse 31 to 32, verse 31 is where Jesus was saying, in the laws of Moses, I know it was said that anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But Jesus went ahead to say in verse 32, that is Matthew chapter 5. When I give you verses, it's good to go and read the whole chapter to see the context and to be able to understand further. But in concern to divorce, this is what Jesus said. I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, remember this is the man divorcing the wife. So anyone who divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, makes her a victim of adultery. And anyone who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. I've always spoken about this verse, and I've said it to my friends. The divorce is the man divorcing the woman. For women, marriage is for life. And it's time we started looking at our marriages as something for life. Whatever comes in between you and your marriage as a woman, you need to start addressing it, because you are supposed to be married for life. So this is where the woman is caught in adultery. That's where the man had been given the option of divorcing the woman. Now, when you look at 1 Corinthians 7:10 to 11, there is a lot. Chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians talks a lot about the way we need to behave ourselves in marriage, and even for those that are not married. That, in fact, St. Paul says, Apostle Paul says that marriage is too much. If you can stay out of marriage, the better for you. But if you're in marriage, then you must make it work. It's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of work. So what he said is that a wife must not separate from her husband, but if she does, she must remain unmarried, or else be reconciled to the husband. So for all the women that have been married, you should remain married. In fact, marriage should be for life. And I was thinking, this is my thoughts, not any vision or anything. I was thinking at some point we need to make marriages such that if you're a Christian, you're married through Christian laws. If you have decided to go it the traditional way, you go it the traditional way. If you have chosen a single partner marriage, you make it a single partner marriage. If you make it polygamous, it is clear from beginning. And that is where we are also calling women to stop this idea of getting into sexual relationships before marriage, because this will destroy your even ability to make firm choices and firm commitments. And once you are sexually involved, there is no way you can have a firm stand. So we need to get into marriages soberly, and knowing that you get into marriage for life. And in future, this is why I was saying it's my thoughts now, we might want to look at our laws such that once a woman, the first woman is married, unless it's a polygamous case of marriage, that woman is entitled to the matrimonial properties, so that if this man decides to marry again, that woman is left in the matrimonial home with matrimonial properties, and she can vent for her children. At the same time, it will be easy. This woman is never to be divorced. She's married. You see, there's a difference between being able to commune with your husband and being divorced. Those are two different matters. If it reaches a point where a woman cannot commune with the husband for whatever reason, and this woman decides to move on, then this woman is left married in the matrimonial home, and they continue to bring up the children. And this man, it will be easy when they, maybe it's something that angered the man. Once the anger subsides, it will be easy for this man to come back home. And for the woman, remember, you are not supposed to marry again. Once you are married, you're married. If your husband comes, this is where now it calls for forgiveness. You take back your husband. And this is also a warning to those who get married to married women. I mean, to married men. Any married man, if you decide to be married again, there is no way you can be ever the only wife. Remember, you have come in as a second wife or as another woman. So this idea of wanting to be alone, and you have come into a home where there is already another woman, just accept your position as a second or a third, and it has its consequences. Because this area of marriage is one area that will lead many people to hell. And to back it up, remember that you remember the case of the woman caught in adultery. The accusers were told, throw the first stone if you don't have a sin. And because they didn't throw any stone, remember what Jesus told the woman. That is in John 8:10-11. Where are your accusers? Neither condemned you. And Jesus went ahead to say, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more. So this is a hint of, and also the teaching on when we are on the way to court. Remember, at the end of this life, we are going to a court, the supernatural court, the court of God, where no one can lie. God is all-seeing, where evidence will be given to the extent that we can even see the thoughts behind it. So there will be no, in the spiritual world, there is nothing that is hidden. You see things as they are. So we shall be able to see these things as they are. And that is where you are told, if you can make your relations better now, you better work on it when you are on this way, before you reach the final judge. Because the final judge is, the judgment is not reversible. And just to add on it, that Jesus told us in Matthew 10:36, a man's enemy will be those members of his own household. So if you are her husband, your enemy shall be your wife. If it's a wife, your enemy will be your husband. And what does Jesus tell us about enemies? In Matthew 5:43-44, it tells us that love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to them, and do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despisefully use you and persecute you. There is a lot of enmity, persecutions in our marriages. So this idea of in marriages, this is where you find enmity, hatred. And why? It's because these people are the people that matter. If someone is not concerned with your life, if this this is not a person that you hold in high regard. Even if they call you what, it will not bother you. And this comes to what I've been teaching lately, that we need to love ourselves, because if you love yourself, you will want good things for yourself. And as you want these good things for yourself, those who are with you will share in these good things for yourself. Good things would mean like cooking some good food, having a good environment, having peaceful environment. And remember, whatever you give is what you receive. So as you are doing good things, those around you are enjoying in these good things, and you would also wish them to feel the way you feel, to eat whatever you eat, to do the things that you enjoy, to participate in them. And this is in reflecting in yourself. And the other thing is, raise the standards for yourself. Do good. Be excellent. Not because of the other. Remember, as a woman, as a man, your partner cannot be worth your sacrifice in terms of just you cannot, they cannot qualify to gain your goodness, but you are good because you do it not for them but for God. Because if you find you're doing good for another person, if they disappoint you, you will find that you're frustrated. But really, are we good because of our partners, or are we good because it's a lifestyle that we have chosen? If you peg your goodness to other people, if you put your actions to be good because you want to please someone, it's because of your husband, it's like first, you cannot even pay anyone back for their goodness. And secondly, if no one, we are short, we always we are sinners first, and we always fall short. So if you do good because the other person is good, what happens if they do bad? Are you going to be bad? So what I'm encouraging and what I'm trying to say in many words is that you need to be good because of your relationship with God, not good because of your partner. If you change your focus and do good because of God, even your partner will enjoy that goodness. And then the other thing, lower your expectations of the other. Because you have raised your standards, don't expect your husband to raise up to the same standards. Remember, this life is a journey, and some of us entered the journey early enough than others. It's not always about the age. Age is good for experience, but you might find that you are at a higher level than your partner. What happens? Are you going to start harassing them so that they can be as good as you are? No, give them time. Let them learn. Let them see that goodness. Model that goodness for them to see how good it is, how peaceful it is to live with Christ and in Christ, so that they can also admire to join you. And you will find actions speak louder than words. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you should take mediocrity. No, I'm saying correct when you need to correct, but remember, your correction should be with love. Learn to be forgiving. Women, we have been given the power to overcome so much. Even these issues of unfaithfulness. In fact, it was when I got to marriage that I got to know that someone can be unfaithful and you forgive them and you continue living with them as if nothing happened. And this idea of unfaithfulness, just give it a little time. If you are hurting as a woman, do something that you like. cook yourself a very good meal and sit, eat, do nothing. That day, get a day off. Go sleep or watch a movie, laugh, or take a tour, a walk. Do something that will, if you have money, go shopping, make your hair, do things that will make you happy. After a day or two, the anger subsides. I'm sure someone is thinking, so what happens to the disease and all that? And I like the verse that Mark 16:16 to the end, that tells you that you shall eat poison and it shall not harm you. As a woman, stand on that verse, that you're in that marriage to stay. And how many times have you heard of people who have been infected with HIV and AIDS and their partners are carriers? Stand on that, be the carrier. Whatever diseases they carry, they are not going to catch you. You are going to be immune to them, because God has told you, as long as you keep the relationship with God, you shall eat poison and it shall not harm you. This is not poison that you're going out there to look for. It is poison that has been packaged by someone that you have taken before God and made a covenant with God, that it is till death do us part. So in this case, stand on that verse. You enjoy your marriage. Don't worry about diseases. Diseases will not catch you. Work on your marriage, work on yourself. Have fun in that marriage. Grow yourself. And as I have promised, come October, I will show you how you can grow yourself in that marriage. But in the meantime, go back to my messages. I know they have very few views, but I know one day they will be sought after. And that is why I'll keep on encouraging you. For those who have started the walk with me, let's continue. If you are touched, share with someone else. Let them start learning this, because these are the things that are for our season. Our season will be great. And just a word of encouragement. Remember when the Israelites were being taken from Egypt, when Moses and Joshua and Aaron announced to Pharaoh that they need to let these people go and worship, what was the first thing that Pharaoh did? He increased their labor. He even removed the straws that they were given to make the work easy. And they were expected to make even more. So as God is rescuing this country from the powers that have been holding it, things might continue being very tough. But as things are being tough, remember they are being tough for us for the last time. So we might be pressed harder than it is now. And I feel for the country and I feel for ourselves, because I look very pretty and very money-like, but I know money is coming. But let's have this hope that we are being pressed for the last time. And that is why we are being called to shape our thinking, shape our the way we do things, so that it can take momentum, and that we may now be found on the surface where it's just moving and going. So during tough times, and I had said this again, and especially for those who are giving out their valuables, your body is so valuable that no one can afford it. Anything that you might be very poor, not being able to afford meals. But for those who cannot afford meals, say the prayer of our Father on a daily basis, so that God can provide for you the daily bread. In terms of growth, just hold mambo ya growth. We are going to grow, but for now, shape your skills, be intentional in what you're doing, shape your thoughts, be in line and in sync with the Word of God. Read the Bible. Most billionaires, not millionaires, in the Western world, at some point, just follow them on YouTube. You will realize that they were not even able to pay for their upkeep. So even if it means relocating to the village for some time and hiding there, or struggling to survive, just to be able to provide the meals for your family, hang on there. But start thinking seriously about your future, because it cannot remain as it is. And as you grow, as I grow, as our children grow, this country will transform. And that is the hope that we have. And this is the revival messages. Thank you. God bless you. And let us hang on, and let us choose wisely. Thank you, and God bless you.